Many people have been wondering exactly what the new meta is now that Chamber is no longer dominant in ranked and pro play. But now, since we have North America last chance qualifiers, we actually know what agents are being the most dominant right now and what agents are really lagging behind. So we're gonna break it all down so you know exactly what the new meta is. But if you want tips, tricks, breakdowns, VOD reviews, and everything else that will help you climb very quickly, you gotta check the Game Leap website right now in the description down below. Now, first off, let's talk about the characters that had a sub 5% pick rate. Basically saw almost no play except for little remnants here and there where some of the teams were being a bit experimental. So we have Harbor at 2%, Chamber at 2%, Phoenix at 2%, Yoru at 3%, and Reyna at 4%. Now, first off, let's talk about some of the obvious ones. Reyna and Yoru are characters that seem to be a lot better in ranked play than they are in pro play. With the coordination and strategy, they just simply don't provide enough utility to set up coordinated plays. And moving on to the other characters, Harbor seems to just not have enough power level in order to see play, can't be used as a solo controller, and oftentimes you don't want his utility to take the place of an initiator that you could play on a team composition. Phoenix is a jack of all trades, master of none. Pretty decent in ranked play, but for pro play, you really want specialists because everyone has a role, and Phoenix is just not strong enough at the specific things you want a role to do. And Chamber, after the nerfs, is just not playable. I mean, really, he's very, very freaking weak, and almost no teams were playing him to any success in this tournament. So yeah, you can definitively say that the Chamber meta is dead. Now we have two characters in the 5% to 10% mark. We have Neon and we have Sky. Now, Neon didn't really see all that much play, saw a tiny bit of play on Fracture, but didn't really see substantial amounts of play comparatively to Neon's past. Kind of an unimpressive showing. But Sky, on the other hand, saw a almost 90% pick rate on Bind. So for specifically that map, Sky was actually played a lot over the course of all of the last chance qualifier, but Bind is no longer in the map pool, so yeah, rest in peace, Sky. Now, from 10% all the way to just about 20%, we have three characters: Sage at 16, Brim at 17, and Cypher at 21. Now, Sage did see some decent play on Icebox in particular, but outside of that, not too much. Brim did see some play on Bind and Fracture, but of course, Bind is leaving and Fracture's here to stay, and Brim is still the go-to controller for Fracture. Now, Cypher's an interesting one. Saw a maxed out play on Breeze, another map that is leaving the map pool. Saw a decent play on Fracture and decent play on Pearl. But remember, when Split comes back into the picture and is actually played in pro play, Cypher will probably see a lot of pick rate on that map. So that's going to be perfectly fine for his pick rate, even though he's losing Breeze, gaining another one that's probably going to be pretty decent at. Now, going all the way from 20% to 30%, we have a lot of characters. Astra at 26, Raze at 27, Viper at 27, Fade at 30. Now, Astra is seeing basically maxed out pick rate on Pearl, that's her go-to map, and seeing a little bit of play on both Haven and Ascent. Now, for Raze in particular, Raze is seeing a huge amount of play on Fracture and a little bit of play on Haven. Maxed out play on Bind, but of course, that's leaving, so Raze is probably going to fall down a peg. But Raze is pretty good on Split as well, and we'll see how good she is on the new map. As for Viper, Viper is seeing maxed out pick rate on Icebox and a maxed out pick rate on Breeze, but Breeze is leaving, and Bind was at a 66%, which is also leaving, so Viper is actually getting hurt quite bad, but same thing as before, Split is a good Viper map, and it's unclear about the new map at this point. Now with Fade, Fade's an interesting one, a lot more divided, 40% on Bind, 34% on Fracture, 66% on Pearl, 40% on Haven, a little bit on Ascent. Saw a little bit of play all over the place. Sova is still seeing more pick rate as far as the de facto Sentinel is concerned that gathers info, which is interesting because after Chamber is basically nerfed, it seems like forcing enemies off of angles, operas off of angles, isn't as necessary as it was before. So that's one of the many reasons why Sova is seeing more play. Plus with the Fade nerfs kind of all catching up to her all at once. Still a good pick, but not as dominant as she was before. Basically falling from the top of the meta to something that is just decent on certain maps. Now, going from the 30% all the way to the 50%, we have Breach at 33, Omen at 38, and KO at 49. Now, Breach is seeing an 81% pick rate on Haven, 97% pick rate on Fracture, and it's looking like Breach is going to cement himself as a really good pick going forward on those specific maps. Really great in enabling his team, setting up those coordinated plays. And the exact reason why Phoenix doesn't see any play are the reasons that Breach does. Breach has a very clear designated role that he accomplishes very well in a team, helping to enable his team to accomplish and clear certain specific objectives. So yeah, Breach is phenomenal, but he has maps that he is really preferred on, and then maps that he sees zero play. Now for Omen, that 38% pick rate is primarily at Ascent and Haven, maps that aren't going anywhere, at over 70% respectively on both. These are the go-to maps for Omen, and I don't imagine specifically Split being a Omen map, but there's a good chance that we'll see a fair bit of Omen on the new map, Lotus, so we'll have to wait and see on this one, but for now, still a very phenomenal pick on those two maps in particular. Now, last up, we do have to talk about KO at a 49% pick rate, Ascent near 90, Icebox 30, Pearl 60, Fracture 45, Breeze 84. Unfortunately, with Breeze leaving and Split coming back, it's actually unclear at this point exactly how much pick rate KO will see on Split and the new map Lotus. But even without any additional pick rate being gained from the new maps or the maps coming back in, KO's still going to be a phenomenal pick, still going to maintain an above 30% pick rate most likely. And yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again, KO is only priced to get better as Valorant moves on, as new characters are added, as the game gets older. KO is most likely going to be a character that just keeps getting better from here. Now, we do got to talk about the top three. We'll just do it like this. 58% pick rate Sova, 85 Ascent, 52 Haven, 94 Icebox, 32 Pearl, 0% Fracture, 99% Breeze. Now, Breeze is leaving, replaced by Split, and of course, Bind is leaving. He didn't really see that much pick rate on Bind, but losing that 99% Breeze to Split, where he's probably not going to see that much play on Split. Historically, he has not seen any play on Split. So that's definitely going to hurt him, but we'll have to wait and see what Lotus is like for him. Still going to be healthy, still going to have an above 30% pick rate, but it's probably going to be a character that gets bounced automatically due to the map swaps. Now, as far as Jed's concerned, 60%, 86 on Ascent, 60 on Haven, 63 on Icebox, 52 on Pearl, 12 Fracture, 96 on Breeze. And we're just going to have to wait and see with this character. Still one of the most powerful characters coming out of this tournament. Probably going to be very powerful going forward, regardless of any map changes or map rotations. Jet is definitely where most teams are at right now. But actually, the most dominant character of this tournament is Killjoy. 69% pick rate, 88% on Ascent, 76% on Haven, 92% on Icebox, 70% on Pearl, 52% on Fracture, and a whopping 0% on Breeze and almost 0% on Bind. This means that this character can only get better going into the map swaps. We're seeing a 69% pick rate now, but going into the map swaps, while I don't imagine KO will get a ton from Split, we'll probably pick up a few percentage points from Lotus, if maybe more. And yeah, we're probably going to see Killjoy being the new most dominant character in the new meta, which is kind of crazy how that's happened out of nowhere. Will we see some Killjoy nerfs in the foreseeable future? Potentially. But with a new agent coming down the pipeline and Riot wanting to stabilize their esport, I think that it's likely that we stick in this meta for quite some time. And honestly, in a post-chamber world, most people are just happy to not face ops 24/7, 7 days a week. But you tell me, how do you feel about this meta? What characters do you think need buffed or nerfed? How do you feel about the map rotation that is going to happen in pro play? And how do you think it's going to affect a lot of the characters that are being picked? What is your favorite character to play right now and why? And are you planning to grind the tournament system and, you know, grind that path to pro? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you check out the Game Leap website if you want to climb as quickly as possible. And thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the video. I love you faces, and I'll see you next time.